Hey, what's going on, everybody? It is Craig Ben, aka Cash here, Cash K here with my buddy Zach. How you doing, man? Week 1 Thursday football. Got a little prize picks action.
Dude, I'm so excited. It's my favorite weekend of the year.
Yeah, it's I know we talked about week 0 last week, but yeah, they decided to throw some Thursday night football for us, and I know we're going to talk about prize picks, and I'm sorry I can't talk. It's been a long day. But that DraftKings slate is just ridiculous. And so it's just like, I can't wait for Saturday to get here and watch some real good football. There's a few good games, but I mean, some of those are ridiculous. Like they could have done what FanDuel did and just put the 4 games up and, hey, that's fantastic. We don't care. We don't need 11 damn games. And I don't need to go there, but
pick that running back on St. Francis, man.
That's right. Yeah. Just looking at some of those teams, I was like, what in the world trying to pull those? What a mess. And, but anyways, the projections are up over at dailyedgesports.com. Zach's going to drop some cheat sheets for Thursday here tonight as well. So if you want access to those, you can get access to those through our Daily Edge Sports website, link in the description below. And yeah, man, let's just pull up PrizePicks here. We'll talk about some plays that we do like. Let's just get after it. I know this is they dropped the board. It just seems like random when they drop it. I mean, I know it's early, but hopefully they get in a consistent basis when they're going to drop these, because it would be nice to be able like, all right, they're going to show up at 1 p.m. on Tuesday or whatever it is, so you can kind of be around and jump on them because the lines do move. But let's just jump on first play that you like here.
All right, man. Let's start. Starting rushing yards. Let's go down all the way to the bottom. We got Graham Mertz down there, that wonderful new Florida quarterback, right there at 0.5 rushing yards. Graham Mertz is a statue. He does not move. I think each of the last 2 years he's had negative rushing yards to end the year. He's going up to altitude, going to play at Utah against a very good defensive line. And, basically if you haven't played college football before, this doesn't mean he's not getting any rushing yards at all. Every sack counts as rushing yards. So that is negative rushing yards every time he gets a sack. This is more a play on the Utah defense. They have a good front line. And Graham Mertz, he might scramble for 2 or 3 yards here and there. I mean, it's like going for Tom Brady, except for obviously Graham Mertz is not Tom Brady.
Right. But that's the big thing is like, if you're used to playing NFL and you're like, well, what do you mean? I saw somebody ask last week, they're like, it's only a half a rushing yard. Can he just fall forward and get one? I'm like, well, if he gets sacked, he could end with negative 20. So look, last week when we talked about Pubby, I mean, like he would have easily got there if he didn't count all the dang stinking times he got sacked or negative yards, because when he rushed the ball 14 or 17 times, it was ridiculous. That play torqued me that he didn't get there, and he almost did, even with all the negative yards he got. But
it was awful.
But just remember, college football sacks count as negative yards, and that's basically when you see something like this, that's what you're hoping for. You're hoping for a sack, and you can get there for him. And with the quarterback on Utah, kind of going with their backup there, they might have more opportunities to sack him. So. What's number 2 play you like?
All right, let's go over to fantasy points. We can go over to John Reese Plumlee. There we go. He's sitting up there at 25.5 fantasy points. I think this is an easy over for him. Last year he was splitting reps, so he really screwed up his shoulder last year. He couldn't really throw it, so he'd come in on the running plays. Mikey Keene, who's now at Fresno State, would come in on the passing plays. So you see some of those. Yeah, I mean, it just really screwed up all of those numbers. So, I mean, that's what you're looking at there. But he's going to throw it here. He gets Kent State, who's awful. It's not a good defense.
Kent State, they don't have their coaching staff from last year, do they?
I don't think so. I think they
got rid. I don't think the coaching staff's there. I know a lot of the bigger players are gone. I mean, and don't get me wrong, it's a MAC team as well, but it's like, put that on top of it. And these guys don't, I mean, UCF's not one that like takes their foot off the pedal, man. I mean, like if they're crushing you, they're going to crush you up into the fourth. They might pull mercy the last 3 minutes of the game, but like, I mean, if they're up 30 something, you see this dude in the fourth quarter still slinging it, man. I mean, that's just what they do.
Well, this is their first game as a Power 5 school. I mean, they're going to want to show everyone that they deserve to be a Power 5 school.
Right.
But yeah, I think he gets closer to 30. This is something, if we can figure out a time that lock is, this opened at 22.5. I still think it's fine up to 30. But if you can be around close to the lock, be around, close to your computer close to Discord, keep an eye out for it because we'll try to tag you when we can on a bunch of these things. Next thing I like, let's go over to passing yards. Brennan Armstrong. It's just kind of a strong lean for me. I think this will hit, but I wouldn't play it standalone. Wouldn't go too heavy on it. But I got Brennan Armstrong here over 248.5. There we go. Passing yards. You can't really look at last year. Last year was awful. He's reuniting with his offensive coordinator from 2 years ago, Robert Denai, up at North Carolina State. Last year, it just was an anemic offense. I think there were like 9 passing touchdowns total. The year before that, at Virginia, he had 41 passing touchdowns. He threw for over 4,400 yards. Excuse me. I think he's going to bring. I don't think this receiving core is as good as it was, but he was throwing for 350, 400 yards a week. So 250 should be a pretty easy number to hit here.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think that is a tad low, and it'll probably adjust, as the season goes on with week 1 here. It's just a tad too low. I agree with that.
Yeah, and I mean, it's more of a lean for me just because we haven't seen this offense before, but I kind of want to get on this before it starts bumping up.
Right.
Next thing for me, big play if you go to rushing touchdowns is that Sean Tyler over. PJ Fleck has come out and said, first of all, Sean Tyler came over from Western Michigan, was a big stud there. Mo Ibrahim's gone here, so they're looking for a new lead guy. PJ Fleck said they want to do a committee here. PJ Fleck has never done a committee unless it was due to he had that 1 year that Ibrahim tore his ACL week 2 or whatever, and then every week another running back got hurt. So that was the closest to a committee he's ever done. That being said, I do like the yards on Sean Tyler. It's around 77, but I'd much rather just go with the half a touchdown. Mo Ibrahim, lead back last year, had 20 touchdowns in every game except 1. It's just a lot safer of a play for that week 1 for me.
Yeah, and do you buy anything at all? I mean, do you really think that he's gonna? Or you think he's just kind of talking out of his?
I mean, even if he does go to a committee for PJ Fleck, a committee could be like 15-5-5 as opposed to 22-3 and nothing.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
so they do have depth there. Yeah, and they do have depth. I do like their depth there. But Sean Tyler, he didn't come over to be a guy that's going to get 6 carries a game.
Right. Yeah, I agree with that, and I agree with that. The rush TD's just safer bet here. I mean, because if you do look at the rush yards, they are juiced on the under, and that probably is with a lot of that, discussion with Fleck, talking about that. I'm sure that has a lot to do with it. But yeah, I agree with that one, man. And what else are we looking at here?
Last thing I have this week right now is a combo play. It's the Johnson Bernard under that 103. For me, this is kind of a lean. So last night around 9:00, PrizePick started dropping a lot of Utah plays. Bernard came up at like 50 yards stuff. I think this is going to be Jaquindon Jackson's offense. They have said it was last year. He had over 100 yards in like 3 of the last 4 games, including a huge bowl game. Rose Bowl. Bernard always seems to find a way into this offense to get like 7 or 8 carries, but I don't think he's going to get, maybe 40, 45. Then you have Montrell Johnson. I'm just kind of fading him here. This is a Graham Mertz-led offense that, we saw him at Wisconsin. He can't really throw the ball. They're going to altitude. He is now, Trevor Etienne is said to be right there with him as it's an or on the depth chart. And then I think they're going to load the box. This is a great Utah defense. It always is. They're always good against the run. So, it's more a bet against that and then trying to get a piece of this Utah team that they took off the board once Cam Rising came out that he probably won't be playing.
Right. Yeah. I mean, that would probably be number 5 though. Like, we ranking him the way we put him up there? I
think so. I think Sean Tyler would probably be my number 1. Probably should have started there.
Okay.
Just because it's, that team is going to score. I don't trust Nebraska. But besides that, I probably, I like them that in order.
That way, with Tyler up top, and then coming down with Mertz, Plumlee, Armstrong, and then end with the combo.
And I mean, the biggest thing for me, like Plumlee, is a blowout factor or something like that.
Yeah. I still think he puts up a 30 burger this game, man. I really do. I mean, we talked a little bit that last week with Caleb, man, and I mean, so now it was it's not going to be that close. It's good. They're going to stomp him, but it doesn't mean that he can't get there in a half. I mean, that dude could throw.
Oh,
He could brush for.
well, and he'll use his legs a lot more than Caleb will. Caleb, they try to keep
100%
safe.
he
Whereas
will.
Plumlee,
That
he might
dude
be hurt
loves to run
into the air, but he doesn't care.
No, he loves to run. So yeah, I'm with you. I do. I think you can play that one up to 30. So yeah, there's 5 plays, man. Gonna have more slips and plays and dailyedgesports.com. Like I said, if you want to play a traditional FanDuel and DraftKings DFS, projections are up and cheat sheets will be up tonight. Correct, Zach?
Yes, sir.
All right, man. Well, appreciate your time. Thanks for watching. And like always, see you guys on the flip side. Deuces.